Hello friends, welcome to Recaps Now. Today we will explain how a man survives within crocodiles. In the introductory scene, we see a man named Dave who is sleeping. As soon as he wakes up, he sees his hand, which was badly wounded. Besides this, he also had injuries in several other places. When he regains full consciousness, he saw that a crocodile was attacking and biting his feet, and dragging him along with it. We then see how Day uses his other foot to free himself. Thus the crocodile jumps of his foot and starts following him. Next we see how Day fights with the crocodile from a distance with the help of a bucket. When a dog saw this from outside, it had begun barking. Next we see that as the lenses zoom out, Day finds himself in a very deep pool. We also see that there was no stairs to get out of the place, so he is stuck. From here on, we see the scene of the movie Ships to 6 days ago. There we see that the same pool was filled with water, and Day was busy doing an underwater photo shoot. Here we also see that a sofa is thrown into the water, in which a model is seen posing as a joker. In the meantime, we see that Day's friend also arrives to the shoot along with Day's pet dog. They were enjoying themselves. In this very scene, we are shown that Day goes to the loo and injects himself with a dose of insulin. By this we come to know that Day was suffering from diabetes. Then we see that his friend also arrives there and they start talking. Then the shoot ends and they take a group photo and are seen enjoying themselves before they leave the place one by one. The scene then moves to the next morning and Day is seen visiting the pool along with his dog to close it. This was because no one was going to stay there after he leaves. Here we see that Day's friend meets him that he is going on a long lead for the purpose of a tour. We then see how he pulls the lever of the pool in order to extract water from it while he is leaving. He then ties up Day's dog and comes to Day. He asks Day to leave the pool quickly as the water level was dropping. He also opines that if Day stayed for a longer period of time, then it would be extremely difficult for him to get out of the place as the pool didn't have any stairs. Day agrees with his friend and asks him to order a pizza before leaving. After this, we see that Day's friend leaves from the place. And here we also see that Day falls asleep on a floaty by mistake. After a while, we see that Day is awakened by the barking of his dog. When he tries to leave the pool, he feels that the water level had drastically fallen. He tries his level best to get out of the pool and also breaks his nails in the process. He then feels that he might not be able to get out, so he calls for help. Here we see the camera zoom out again, and he is seen at a deserted place where he was all alone and nobody else was there to help him. Day's phone is shown to be charging beside the pool, and when he gets a call, it rolls and comes to the edge of the pool. But before Day could grab it, the phone got entangled with the charging wire. Now we see Day jump in order to take it off, but the phone falls into the water and it becomes dead. Later on, we see that he puts his cloth into the drain to stop the water level from dropping further. While Day was busy with this, we see the pizza delivery man arrive who wasn't able to see Day as he was in the pool. The delivery man looks around and then calls up Day's friend who had ordered on Day's behalf. Day's friend tells the boy to leave the pizza there only. Day now feels that someone might be here to help him. Day tries to get out off the pool quickly, but his belt gets stuck in the drain and the delivery man leaves. Day still had a feeling that somebody would come to his rescue, so he doesn't worry about it too much and falls asleep again. Finally, after a while, Day's friend Koi comes there and sees Day sleeping, and without checking the water level, jumps into the pool. Just then, Day is awakened by the noise, and he forbids Koi to jump into the pool. Meanwhile, we see that Koi slips and hits the platform, and she falls into the water. We are then shown that Koi faints due to her injuries, and Day rushes to her aid. Sometime later, it is night time, and the water level dips to a dangerously low point. Day notices Koi's wounds and notices a blood clot on her head. Day was extremely worried seeing the clot, and we see that Day's dog was barking loudly as a crocodile was approaching the pool area. Day also notices the crocodile and asks the dog to calm down. But before the crocodile could eat the dog, its feet slips, and it also falls to the pool. Now the situation became extremely tough for Day to manage, as on the one hand was lying his friend Koi and on the other was this deadly and silent pool. On top of it, the crocodile was also there now, which was the icing on the cake. The worst part of all this was that there was nobody who could help Day and his friend. They were also lacking sufficient food and water needed for survival. But the pair of Day and Koi somehow escape the crocodile's view, and the night passes like this. We then see that it is the next morning, and the pool is shown empty till then. Koi, however, was still unconscious, and the crocodile is seen sleeping on the other side of the pool with an open mouth. Day now observes Koi again and sees that her head was bleeding profusely. Day then looks around and observes the crocodile, which had a cello tape in his mouth, which was used for a shoot. Day tries to get rid of tape from the beast's mouth, and just then it awakens and growls at him. But Day somehow collects the tape and quickly reaches Koi to tend to her. Here we also see a bucket full of water, near them which Day had filled up for drinking water. Suddenly Day notices a vent and plans to use it to escape from there. Just when Day goes to check Koi, the crocodile enters inside the vent. Then we see Day risk his life and dives into the tunnel-like structure. Then we see that when he reaches the exit points, he sees that they were sealed. During this, the crocodile returns to the pool and moves towards Koi, who lay unconscious. Day arrives in the nick of time and throws away the crocodile when Koi also regains consciousness. After a while, Day sees that his dog was having pizza. The dog throws some of the pizza for Day in the pool. And this was the first time 3 days that Koi and Day were able to have something to eat. The next morning, we see that it's their 4th consecutive day inside the pool, and they had nothing to eat or drink, not even water. Day faints out of weakness, and when he regains his senses, he finds Koi by his side. Koi informs Day that it was a female crocodile that had laid eggs. In the meantime, it starts to rain, and they were able to have some water to drink. The scene shifts to the next morning, where Day is sleeping, and we see the crocodile approaching him. Just then, Koi wakes up and the crocodile falls into the drain. Day then locks the crocodile up inside the vent. Later, we see Day and Koi lit up a fire with the help of dry grass and Day's glass. Then they boil the crocodile eggs and have it. They then bring the sofa at the edge of the pool and try to escape, but they fail and start losing hope of seeing a new day. Next, we see that the crocodile attacks Day when she finds her eggs missing. But Day escapes and takes shelter inside the vent. Now, as we have seen earlier, Day was a diabetic and needed insulin. But in this chaos, he missed the doses for 5 consecutive days, and now his condition was worsening. Just then, Day notices an insulin injection near the vent and tries to get it. But sadly, the insulin breaks. After this, we see Day and Koi crying. Just then, Day notices his insulin case, which was misplaced by his friend by mistake. And finally, Day is able to inject insulin to himself. After some time, they notice a parachute. Then we see Day return to the pool while he tells Koi to cover up the drain. Then he understands that it was not any parachute but a toy. He shouts for help, and in the meantime there is a storm and a steel wire falls into the pool, which makes Day very happy, and he uses the steel to climb upwards. But just as he is about to reach his destination, he slips and falls into the pool once again. Then we again see the introductory scene, and after freeing himself from the crocodile was seen sitting there. Koi, however, was still stuck inside the tunnel. We then see that it starts to rain in the night, and the tunnel was blocked, and it got filled with water. Koi rings a barrel to alert Day, and hearing this, Day goes inside the tunnel. This time he plans to go to the other side of the tunnel, but this turns out to be a wrong call, as this side had a pool which was even deeper than the previous one. Then we see that on the 7th day of their pool adventure, 2 people arrived there. These people were here to collect their toy parachute and use the ladder to recapture it. Here we see that the people are not able to see the crocodile, as it was hidden inside the sofa. Day heard their voice and asks for help, but by the time he reaches the previous pool they had left. But there was still the ladder standing, and when Day tries to catch the ladder, he is attacked by the crocodile. On the other side, we see the tunnel where Koi became filled with water again. and Day feels that Koi must have died. The crocodile is about to attack Day when Koi signs him that she was okay. Now Day felt rejuvenated on seeing Koi alive and fights the crocodile and kills it with a stick upon getting the chance. He then again tries to catch the ladder but is unsuccessful as the barrel supporting the ladder had moved. Day get disheartened and loses hope of survival. When Koi attracts his attention via whistle, this is noticed by the dog. Day forbids the dog to jump, but it was too late and the dog entangles itself to the chain and dies. Day became extremely angry and frustrated by the happenings, and now he had to somehow save Koi. He climbs upwards using his dead dog, and after 7 days of struggle, he was a free man. He then somehow gets to the tunnel, but is about to fall again when he hangs on to the edge of the pool, and then after a lot of efforts and CPR is able to revive Koi, who had got unconscious in all this. After Koi regains her sense, the pair share a hug, and this is how the movie ends.